Hey Vino campers, and welcome back to our Reininger Weekly Terroir Tuesday vlog. And today we are going to be featuring our 2019 Viognier from Stillwater Creek Vineyard in the wonderful Columbia Valley. It's located in the middle of the Royal Slope at the top of the Frenchman Hills. It's right dab center in the center of Washington State. Anyway, today, Viognier. Where does Viognier come from? Its history goes way back to the Romans, maybe before. They think the grape maybe came from Dalmatia, which is now modern day Croatia. And DNA testing that's been done in UC Davis has shown that it perhaps came from Friesa? Gosh, it's always a tough one. Friesa. There we go. Anyway, and Nebbiolo. So, but also there shows that it's very closely related to Syrah. So there really is quite a bit of confusion still surrounding Viognier and its origins. But one thing that we do know, it is now anchored in Condrieu on the right bank of northern Rhone. Condrieu is a wonderful, wonderful appellation that sits also right next to a tiny appellation called Chateau Gruyere. So those two places are the only appellations in the world that grow 100% Viognier. Speaking of Condrieu, next year, May 15th through the 22nd of 2021, you need to be joining us for a wonderful trip down the Rhone, and we're also going to be going into Provence. The third day of the trip, we will be on Condrieu. We're going to be doing this with a wonderful company that we've teamed up with called Experi. They're out of Bainbridge Island here in Washington, and they are famous for their fabulous wine trips in Europe. So we look forward to doing that. You can contact us here at the winery to get more information, or you can go online at experi.com/Reininger Winery. We'll put that up on the screen for you. So man, let's get into the Viognier though, because gosh, I love this grape. The first time I experienced it was Christmas barrel tasting quite a few years before I even had visions of starting a winery, and I tasted it here at one of our local wineries, and I just fell in love with the aromatics. They're so intriguing, and the floral qualities of it, and the mouthfeel. So the qualities that you typically see of Viognier is its aromatics. Again, I said the perfume, the fruity, floral aspects of it, and also its weightiness, its mouthfeel, beautiful roundness to the wine itself. And but it's also known for having a little higher levels of alcohol than most white wines. Why is this? It's because it all has to do with what happens in the vineyard. One, the grape needs to be meticulously cared for, and those wonderful aromatics that we're talking about, they develop at a special time. So if you pick the grape too early, we won't get those beautiful aromatics. If we pick it, wait too late to harvest it, guess what? We're not going to get those wonderful aromatics. So we have to keep it in balance with the sugars though, because the sugars, if we wait too long, those sugars keep building in the grape. By golly, you know, some of us that like to party a little bit will get those higher alcohols, but we won't get those floral aspects of it. So let's not do that. We're all about making wonderful, beautiful Viognier. So we hand harvest all of our fruit, and it's brought in here to the vineyard where we whole cluster press it. What does that mean? That means that the berry remains on the stems. We put the clusters in the press, and we press the juice out of the berries and put the juice directly to tank. Then we lower the temperature down to just above freezing, leave it there for about a week or so, and then we'll inoculate it with yeast, and we begin the fermentation process. But we ferment it to dryness in stainless steel tanks. Why stainless steel? Well, we really want to capture the wonderful aromatics. If you barrel ferment it, you're in danger of losing a little more of those aromatics, but you develop more mouthfeel in the barrel. And stainless steel, we capture more of the freshness, of the floral and fruit freshness of it. maintain a little more sense of minerality that we get out of the Stillwater Creek Vineyard. And just a little, keeps a little more freshness to the wine itself. So that's the style in which we choose to do it, and it's more reminiscent of the traditional Condrieu style of Viognier, where they will use completely neutral barrels there for the most part for the wines. But again, they don't want to use a lot of new oak. Some Viogniers will have a little spiciness, creaminess to it, vanilla aspect, but that all comes from newer oak, the oak imparting those flavors into the wine. So this is all, our wines are Viogniers, all about the grape. So yeah, man, the grape is where it's at. So here's to the grape. Man, oh man. Oh gosh, man, remember I was talking about those, you're just gonna hear this all the time, the floral aspects of the fruit. Oh gosh. So it starts off here, I'm getting hits of honeysuckle, man. I had honeysuckle growing in my backyard of my old house, and so I loved it when that was blooming, and boy, it's blooming here in the glass. You get a little bit of tangerine going on there. Maybe even a tiny bit of rosebuds happening to it. And the other aspect I get in there is a little bit of pineapple too. So get a little bit of tropical hits going on in here. Ah, gosh. All right. So what are we getting on the palate besides this beautiful mouthfeel that I've also been talking about? It has this unctuousness being a little oily quality to it. So it has as much or maybe sometimes more mouthfeel or weightiness to it than Chardonnay. Even this being stainless steel fermented, it has, like I say, more weightiness than a lot of barrel fermented Chardonnays. I get, again, remember I was talking about the honeysuckle? Well, we'll get some honeysuckle in there. Also tasting a bit of orchard blossoms. Hey, springtime. Hey, around here in Walla Walla, man, the orchards, the blossoms, we've just had a whole bunch of beautiful apple blossoms out here. But I get a little on the palate. Little tangerine, zest of tangerine going on. The mineral character. The other thing too is really kind of fun too. Get nuances of apricot skin. We have apricots here on the winery, so it's and it's one of my favorite fruits. So get a little apricot skin and maybe even a little bit of peach going on with that. So Viognier, another characteristic of it is that it tends to have sometimes a little more tannin than other white wines. So there's a tiny bit of tannin I can sense in here. So again, very characteristic of the grape itself. And it has a wonderful, nice moderate acidity to it. And so again, when we harvest it is critical to the acidity. The longer that the fruit hangs on the vine, the more acid it's gonna lose. We'll have to save that subject for a whole nother vlog. But so it's not gonna be that piercing acidity, say, of maybe a Sauvignon Blanc or something like that, but it's a wonderful balance with as far as the weightiness, the weight of the mouthfeel, and so very, very appropriate. What foods do we enjoy with this? Well, this time of year, you know, we're having lots of, you know, the fruits are starting to come out, and so I always think of gosh, like our last week's rosé, I think of spinach salad with chev and raspberries and blueberries. Gosh, I've been putting that stuff in my fresh yogurt here, you know, every day. And so, anyway, those are always wonderful with the Viognier. Grilled chicken and wonderful herbs with foods like little coriander or thyme or more aromatic herbs. Just goes beautifully with squashes, although that's going to be later on in the year. But yeah, there's just so many wonderful fun foods that Viognier goes with. But so if you like a dry style Viognier, and this is a traditional dry style, more similar to what you'd find, say, in Condrieu, this is your Viognier. So with that, let's get rid of this COVID-19 so we can go on and have some fun with our lives and shake hands again. Cheers, guys. Take care.